Welcome to yet another interesting module, the number 6, which is classes and oops. In fact, this is my favorite of out of Python. So because it it made my life easy as a programmer. So that's why I adore classes and oops. If you ever ask me what is your favorite out of all Python, so I say oops. It's not just that oops. It's object oriented programming system. That is my favorite. As of now, you may not understand why it is my favorite, but as you go through this session, you will get to know why it is my favorite, and you will understand how this oops make lot of bigger things possible and how it makes our Pythoneer's life so easy and relaxed. So, thus far, where we are, let's see where we are. Object, object generation using expression, statement to make more logic, module consists of plenty of statements, a file, and then a program that we have written already. And now we will be entering into new a new arena, that is classes and oops. And I'm very much excited to speak about and teach about this oops, because that is my favorite. I love it, I adore it. Okay, so that's why I brought the simplest example. Okay, why to talk all these things? Let's right jump into the our first part of module 6, classes and oops, that is know your Python, know your object. Okay, so far in this course we have been using the term object generically. Really, the code written up to this point has been object based. We have passed objects we have passed objects around our scripts, used them in expressions, called their methods, and so on. For our code to qualify as being truly object oriented, though our objects will generally need also participate in something called inheritance hierarchy. What is that? Inheritance hierarchy. So now this classes and oops module begins our exploration of the Python class, which is a device used to implement new kinds of objects in Python that support inheritance. Classes are Python's main object-oriented programming tool. So you may got uh, you may got that the difference between a class and a oops. Basically, people use classes and oops together as like twins. That time you might be confused, but I'll say that class is a tool to implement object oriented program. I hope you got it. So we will look at object oriented program from basics to advanced in this module. Object oriented program offers a different and more effective way of looking at programming. So from now onwards I will use OOP for object oriented programming. Okay, so one note up front: in Python, OOP is entirely optional, and you don't need to use classes just to get started. In fact, you can get plenty of work done with simpler constructs such as functions or even simple top level script code. Okay, now let's begin the action. So before we jump into seemingly difficult at very simple topic, yeah, I feel it is a simple topic. Classes and oops. I'll make it simple for you too. So let us revisit the geography class in our school time. Okay? So let us begin. Let's consider I'm a geography teacher for now. Okay, jokes apart. as you all know, Earth landmass is classified into 7 continents. Let's begin with Asia. I think you can see it. Then Africa. Here it is. You can see my mouse pointer, right? Here it is. Then we have North America on top. Then South America at bottom. We have Europe. Again, it's on top of. Then finally Oceania. Oceania. And there is one more. But this is not a geography class. It is Python classes and oops class. Okay. So now continents are subdivided or subcategorized into countries. Asia consists of Hong Kong, Indonesia, Iran, Iraq, Israel, Japan, and my lovable nation, Bharat. Uh, these are very few. There are a lot of. So then Africa, to say some, Algeria, Angola, Benin, Botswana, Burkina, Burundi, Cameroon, Central African Republic. Next for North America, Mexico, Panama, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Vincent, Trinidad and Tobago, and United States of America. Then South America, Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Ecuador, Guyana. Then Europe, Slovakia, Slovenia, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, Turkey, Ukraine, United Kingdom. And Oceania, here it is, the bottommost. Australia, Fiji, Kiribati, Marshall Islands, Micronesia, Nauru, New Zealand. Okay, fine. You might be wondering, oh God, why the heaven we are discussing all this? Is this really a Python class or geography class? Okay, hold on, hold your horses. Before we move on to classes, I want to make sure that you all are able to distinguish a category and an object in it. So, if we begin with continent, a continent which is abstract, which is not a real entity, which is just a class or category, whereas Asia, Africa, North America, South America, Europe, Oceania, these are all real entities that are exist. These are concrete. These are known as objects. because each will have some state and behavior. For example, in Asia, country is a subclass or subcategorization. Whereas, because Asia consists of plenty of countries, out of which I have considered India as a one country. So, which is country is a subclass way in it, whereas India is a real entity or known as object with state and behavior. So actually we will discuss, I will code everything. This example I will put it in a code in a Jupyter notebook and we will understand better. Okay, you don't need to worry about this, you just follow me here. So then we have state. State is the subclass or subcategorization of the country, whereas Karnataka is an object with states and behaviors. I think you still under confusion. Let me make it simple. Here, with this analogy, categorization is our class which defines and lays out the general principles of how an respective object should be and behaved. So here in this case, we means not we, some international body laid out the blueprint for continent. If it has certain size, geography, like-minded countries, they all clubbed as one continent. Like that, we have 7 continents. All are made by using the rules and principles laid out in the continent blueprint. So same way, we build a class which acts like a blueprint to actually make some objects. So enough is enough. Let us code. Let's begin. So as I have told you, continent is a categorization of or division of a landmass, earth landmass. So this is general category. It is abstract, not a real one, not a concrete one. So what I will do is, I will make a blueprint to divide continents. So while the position of land masses on continental crust may be used to determine continents, geopolitical factors also affect their delineation. Below is an overview of the world's continent using the most popular classification system, the 7 continent method. Okay, so this is what the blueprint we have considered to categorized or to subdivide, to classify our land mass. The blueprint is here right in front of your eyes. So now we will write a class for continent. That means we'll create a blueprint in a using Python. So we have theoretically written here. Here we have written it theoretically. So now we will write it using Python rules. So class or category which is not real, which is abstract, is continent. So basically classes, we always begin with capital letter so that we can actually distinguish or differentiate with other types of names in Python. Clear? So then we will start laying the rules. Our class is continent and we'll start writing the rules. First, these are all states of, these are all attributes, and here these are all behavior or methods of this category or class. Okay, so here we used a constructor to give a shape. Basically we are giving a shape, because every object will have a certain shape, certain attributes, certain states, certain attributes, certain shapes. So now I am giving shape, or I am building it using init. So what are the attributes? What are the features? Number of countries, area square kilometer, population density, GDP. Based on these things only, now we actually differentiate a continent. Okay, we actually divide a landmass. So based on these parameters only. So this is my blueprint. So now we will write some behavior or method of the class. Okay, so now we have all these attributes, because an object can possess some shape, some length, some attributes. So with these attributes you can do some activities also, because if human is an object, so he possess eyes, nose, mouth, legs, hands, brain, and then length, weight, everything he possesses. These are the attributes of object. So these are those attributes. So if you want to write this for the human, replace these number of countries, area square kilometer, population density, GDP with legs, eyes, nose, brain, these things. So this is how you build a human. Then after that, with all those you will do some activities. So that's the behavior. You do some operation, that is the behavior or method. So with human hands, with legs you run, with hands you catch, with brain you think, with mouth you speak. So these are all methods, these are all behaviors. So okay, for now our class is continent, not human. Okay, so I will add description. So this is my method. Description is method or behavior of this class. Let's see what will happen. I will execute this. So at present you don't need to worry, you just relax and watch this video. You don't need to code with me, because this is too early to put oops complete stuff and to code. So that's why I'm just see, as I have used a general example, so I'm telling you, I'm trying to explain how this general example can be put in oops concept. So that's why this will give you a big picture. This will give you a bird's eye view or 360 degrees look. So that's the reason I'm just trying to put that example in our oops concept. Okay, that's fine. I executed, no error, absolutely fine. Let's see what is gonna happen next. We have made a blueprint for the class. In simple terms, we laid out some rules. Now we will make few objects which are real objects. Okay, our object one is North America. Let's see. Wait. So let's see what is that initially. So print type of, so here it is. Let's see what is the type of continent. It is class type. So it is clear. Class is nothing but a category. Category. So now the real object, we will build a real object. We will make a real object. So name of that object is North America, and obviously we have to use that class blueprint. This is the class blueprint. So we have built a blueprint now. It should have some attributes. These are those attributes. Now each continent will have their own attribute, as a human is a class, but there are different types of human. One is a human have attributes: height, weight. So each will have a different characters. So similarly here, the attributes of each object will vary. For North America, it is 23 and all this. So let me 26.03 trillion dollar. That's a GDP. So let me execute this. Actually, we have made a real object which is concrete, which has some attributes and methods. So now we will extract some attributes of the object. Some attributes of the object. Let's see what is a North America. North America is class main dot continent type. It's a class continent object. So now first, number of countries in North America. So what I will do, I will take object and I will reference that attribute number of countries which we have written during which we have written in blueprint. Our blueprint is continent. Let's see what we get. 23. Then what is the area of North America? So this is again that it is this much square kilometers. Now we will see the behavior of this continent. So description is the method, is a function that we have written in our blueprint. In our blueprint. Okay, let me execute. So now it is describing this object. It's describing that object. What it is saying, North America has 23 countries and spans over this much of area square kilometer with a population of this much, and GDP is 26.03 trillion dollar. So that's how you have made a blueprint, but you are able to create a actual object which is North America. North America, you can check, you can go to the website and you can check. It has, these are the actual facts. Now we will build another object which is South America. So South America has 12 countries and their population and GDP. And object 3, Europe, 50 countries, population, and then GDP. And object 4, which is Africa, which has 54 countries, but the GDP is very low, 7.16 trillion dollar. And fifth one, our Asia, which has 48 countries overwhelmingly, but that's also good, 65.44 trillion dollar of GDP. It is actually contributing a lot to the world. And object 6, which is Oceania, it has 14 countries, but the GDP is very, very low because it's small. That's okay. So now we have made all real objects. So now what we'll do, so we have, by using a class continent, a blueprint, we are able to make all real objects: North America, South America, Asia, Europe, Oceania, Africa. So now once you have objects, you can do anything. You can do a lot of computations. You can do a lot of operations. So what I will do, one, I will take inbuilt max function, and then I will try to compare whichever has the highest GDP. Let's execute and see which one has highest GDP in this. It is with overwhelmingly $65.44 trillion. That is Asia. So this is how we can actually put a real world example into whoops. And in a simplest way, a class is a category where we make a set of rules. So once this blueprint is ready, we can actually create a real objects. This real objects can be hell number of times. We can create n number of objects. It doesn't matter. Okay. So with this, we have come to an end of this session. So I hope you enjoyed it, you liked it. Keep subscribing, keep watching, keep spreading. Thanks, and see you in another part of module 6, that is classes and whoops.